Before we begin, I want to say this is the final part of a long series. If you're watching this video alone, without watching the previous parts, you may misunderstand what is being said here. This is not about blaming, this is not about morality. This is about understanding how small personal choices silently shape your inner world and eventually shape the world outside you. Now let us talk about something very deep and very rarely discussed honestly. Karma. Most people misunderstand karma. Karma is not punishment and karma is not reward. Karma is not some invisible judge watching you. Karma simply means cause and effect. Whatever you engage with repeatedly leaves an imprint on your mind, your energy, and your direction in life. Porn creates karmic knots not because sex is wrong, but because unconscious consumption binds attention, energy, and intention in unhealthy ways. Let us understand this slowly. Every time you consume porn, your attention moves outward, your desire moves outward, and your energy moves outward. But it moves towards someone who does not know you, does not care about you, and will never be part of your real life. This creates an energetic imbalance. In spiritual science, bonding is not only physical, it is mental and energetic. Even thinking deeply about someone repeatedly creates a subtle bond. Porn creates one-sided bonding. You give attention, you give desire, you give energy. Nothing comes back. This is why it feels empty. This is why the pleasure never satisfies. This is why you want more but feel less. Now, let us talk about karmic knots. A karmic knot is created when an action is repeated unconsciously and becomes part of your identity. Porn is rarely a conscious choice after a point. It becomes automatic. Stress comes, the mind goes there. Loneliness comes, the mind goes there. When boredom comes, the mind automatically goes there. This repetition binds the mind. You may stop physically watching porn, but the mental patterns remain. Images return, fantasies arise, and comparisons continue. This is karma, not punishment, conditioning. Now let us look at the collective impact. Why does porn exist at such scale? Demand. Supply always follows demand. If there was no demand, the industry would collapse. Now think carefully. How many people enter this profession out of deep passion? Very few. Most enter because of money, pressure, manipulation, or lack of options. This does not mean they are victims or villains. They are human beings responding to a system. But the system is fueled by consumption. This is where karma becomes collective. When millions of people consume something unconsciously, it reshapes culture. It reshapes what is rewarded. It reshapes what is normalized. It reshapes what young people think they must become to be valued. Because attention became currency. Porn is not separate from society. It leaks into everything. Now here is the most important realization. You do not fix this by shaming women. You do not fix this by moral policing. You fix this by stepping out of the loop. The most powerful action is withdrawal of demand. When you stop feeding something, it weakens. This is karma too. Now let us talk about mastery. Controlling sexual desire is one of the hardest things in life. Not because desire is evil, but because it is powerful. Sexual energy is creative energy. The same force that creates life also fuels ambition, intelligence, creativity, and leadership. It also fuels innovation and discipline. This is why people who achieve great things often have strong control over their impulses. Not suppression, control. There is a big difference. Suppression creates frustration. Control creates power. Ancient tradition understood this. That is why yogis, monks, and seekers created structured lives. Not because life is dangerous, but because unstructured desire scatters energy. Restrictions create direction. Discipline creates freedom. When sexual energy is not constantly leaked, it raises upward. It sharpens the mind. It strengthens willpower. It deepens focus. It stabilizes emotions. This is not mystical. This is observable. Look at people who are addicted. They feel weak. They overthink. They lack drive. They feel disconnected. Now look at people who have mastery. They are calm. They are grounded. They are creative. And they have presence. This is energy alignment. Now here is something very important. Mastery does not mean never falling. It means not identifying with the fall. It means understanding the mechanism instead of hating yourself. Guilt drains energy. Awareness restores it. You don't win this battle by force. You win it by clarity. When you clearly see how porn drains your soul, your mind, your energy, and your body, desire loses its unconscious grip. The illusion collapses. Now let us talk about destiny. Your destiny is not decided by luck. It is decided by where your energy flows daily. Porn redirects energy away from purpose, growth, creation, and real connection. When your energy returns, life opens, ideas come, motivation appears, peace stabilizes, and confidence grows. This is why people who master this area say, life became easier, not harder, because they are no longer fighting themselves. Now let me say this clearly. This is not about becoming a saint. This is not about becoming extreme. This is about becoming whole. A whole human being enjoys life consciously, not compulsively. If you take one thing from this entire series, let it be this. Whatever you cannot control, controls you. Whatever you master, empowers you. Porn is not the problem. Unconscious living is. When awareness comes, addiction fades. When energy gathers, greatness becomes possible. This is why traditions existed. This is why discipline matters. And this is why mastery was respected. Not because pleasure is bad, but because creation requires energy. And a meaningful life is the greatest creation of all. If this series helped you understand something deeply, don't just move on. Sit with it. Observe your mind. Observe your energy. Change does not happen overnight, but clarity begins instantly. And clarity is freedom.